This film is called The Multidimensionals. This was an entertaining sci-fi feature. What set this film apart for me was its incredible creativity. So many different elements, gorgeous footage in nature, poetic indigenous philosophical ideas, a barrage of captivating images, notably of ancient Egypt, and then fabulous screen pictures of aliens and star systems. I also really enjoyed the structure too, how each main character was introduced and interviewed by the lead figure. I appreciated the various musical errors from classical to synth to pop music. The CGI was stunning, especially the crisp alien faces. The dance scene near the end was so sultry and evocative. I would love to see more work from this multi-talented group. Great job.
The Multidimensionals. Okay, this was a very interesting experience, yes. First of all, I want to congratulate the filmmakers for putting such an effort to create this piece. I'm sure it wasn't easy because you came up with a very, very ambitious concept. I think that you are trying to create something like Stargate, Star Wars, or Star Trek, or something with that kind of mythology. It's not easy. It's not easy because you deal with different kinds, different species of creatures, of aliens, and mythologies, and dimensions, and there's a lot going on. And while the story feels a little chaotic, to be honest, the amazing world building behind it makes it appealing. And I think that you could create something very unique if you continue to pushing with this project. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this version of the film because it feels a bit uneven, and production wise it feels a little limited too. But I mean, the use of the artificial intelligence images were not very appealing to see. And I think that you have some very, very powerful ideas. And I can understand why you will try to use the artificial intelligence images because, well, it's cheaper. But I think that if you keep pushing with this project, if you find investors and hire makeup artists and more professional visual effects designers, you could really bring something very powerful, something very different to the genre. Again, you clearly have an amazing world floating around. You could really create a series of films or a TV series out of this project. I really like the way we get to see so many diversity of characters, diversity in race, diversity in genre, diversity in sexual orientation. I like the way this story jumps through different periods of time and places. It's very ambitious. It's like Cloud Atlas too. So it's like part Cloud Atlas, part Star Trek, and that's an amazing combination. And you have a series of characters that are very, very intriguing. I like that it wasn't all about the action, but that you get to get. I mean, that you get a little philosophical when these characters begin talking about their civilizations and their views on humankind, and some of the terrible events that humankind has had to deal with, like the Nazis, the wars, the nuclear bomb and all that kind of things. So yes, it's a very interesting combination of elements. It's very ambitious, and I say this in a good way. And while the current films feels a little limited, I think that with a little more effort and a little more resources, you could create something very special. So I hope you continue to pursue this dream because it's very interesting. And I thank you for the opportunity of letting me watch this first effort. Thanks for singing it and best of luck with this project.
The Multidimensionals. I want to start by saying I really like this idea. I think it's very creative and it has a lot of places you can go. I really do see this as more of a series. I felt like in the beginning it felt like more of a opening for a series, like a television series. Didn't really feel as filmatic to me or cinematic. It felt more like a series. So I think it would be great as a series because I think you can develop it more. I think there's more to develop. I think you can focus on all the different characters. This one I wish had focused more on the main character in the beginning. I think the Native American, when he was the Native American in that dimension, I think it would have been cool to kind of start with that and then kind of go backwards. It kind of confused me in the beginning. It was sort of all over the place with the Vietnam era, the Cold War era, the different eras happening so quickly. It just felt sort of like I didn't know what was happening or who this person even really was. So I kind of wanted to focus on him a little bit more to understand him first and then introduce all the different characters. I feel like it's a very complex plot, so having so much going on I think would help as a series because you can sort of focus on different aspects in each episode. The AI images mixed in seemed a little bit out of place, so it kind of threw me off a little. But I do, like I said, I really like the idea of it. I think there is a lot to handle in this with the aliens and the different dimensions and all the different characters. I think you have a lot to play with. So very interesting. And one other little nitpicky thing is the sound. I think you really need to have some good sound because there were moments with the conversations where I couldn't understand what they were saying. But that's just a little critique going forward in case you do make this a series and you keep going with it. It would be really cool. I'd like to see the development of each character a little bit more. So great work.
Really quite a compelling and ambitious feature film. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot to unpack. There's this sort of interesting sort of dynamic throughout the film and divide between just the quality of audio and visuals from one scene to another. There's which I think kind of works well with the film and the scope of the film. It's easy to understand why, but yeah, just given the in context of the narrative, it kind of almost makes sense. Otherwise, there's just a great concept here. There's good execution. There's some good performances, and overall, really just a thoroughly enjoyable film.